I come from a big family. My father met my mother in the Philippines in the early 50s. I had 4 siblings born in the Philippines. I mean, 2 other siblings were born here in the United States. My mother adopted 4 more, and we lived in a big house in Castroville, artichoke capital of the world. My mother and father got saved when they came from the Philippines in an Assembly of God church one night. And so I was raised in a Pentecostal church. But the way we were living was all about getting things done and working. There wasn't really a lot of love shown. You know, we were going to church a lot. You know, I mean, 3, 4, 5 times a week sometimes. I really, as a kid, you know, as I was growing up, got tired of it. You know, because the way my mother and father was, they say they were saved. They read the Bible and they prayed, and they were saved for sure, but there wasn't a lot of love shown. As time went on, I started getting into sports, and when I could get away from the church, I got away from the church. When I was 15, I just left the church, started doing my thing. In high school, I got into some things I shouldn't have got into. I was an athlete. My brother was an athlete. My sisters were athletes. But my brother and I got into stuff that I'm not too proud to talk about today. In fact, we're not, you know, but it was just our past. And then I graduated from high school, went to college. It was just a bigger campus to do more business, you know, and party. I was a big partier. Got away from the Lord. Just ran, did my own thing. Wanted to make a lot of money. Did everything I could. Started businesses at an early age, my brother and I, and had partners. And I went through a few businesses, you know, land leveling, snow skis and running wear sales and stuff like that, rentals, and just start building houses. In 1984, I got married and had a son. She had a son already, so I was raising him, but I was in the business. I wanted nothing to do with my past. I wanted to leave that type of life because I knew it was either prison or death, and I didn't want either one. So I started getting into business and started building houses for sale. Bought a pizza parlor, started a cookie company at the same time, so I was working like a fiend. I was taught how to work, so I worked hard. About 1992, the end of it, things were starting to unravel. My God was money. My mother was praying for me all that time, you know, and I know who God is. I mean, I was raised in a Pentecostal church, and I know God's word. You know, I memorized the books of the Bible when I was a kid, and we was always in the Bible, and my mother read to us every night. She made us come in, you know, so I'm very familiar with God. In 1992, when I was working in the pizza parlor on homes and this cookie company, things were coming undone, and I felt the presence of God around me. I was very uncomfortable. I was just like, Mom, quit praying for me. You know, leave me alone, you know. And then this gentleman came and found me. He's a businessman. He's a friend of mine now. And he was in Prunedale. He didn't know I had a pizza parlor there. Had a friend upstairs in a real estate office, Mike. And he went up and talked to Mike. Says, Mike, do you know a guy named Jim Romig? He goes, yeah, I do. He goes, you do? Can you introduce me to him? He goes, well, sure. He says, when? He said he got up, walked to the window, saw my truck in front of my pizza parlor, and said, well, right now his truck's in front of his pizza parlor. I said, no way. Yeah, so they came downstairs. I remember it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon because the rush hour was over, and I went outside of my pizza parlor door, and there was a beautiful 4-door Mercedes-Benz in front of my pizza parlor. There was only a car there, and I looked to the right, and Mike was coming down with some young, handsome guy in a suit never met before. And when Mike saw me, he says, hey, Jim. I said, hey, Mike. And I went up to him, and he goes, I'm going to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Teeny Shake. And he says, Teeny, Jim Romig. And he grabbed me by the hand and said one thing. He said, God has a big plan for you. It rocked me. I didn't expect that. I didn't know who this guy was. He just introduced to me. That's the only thing he said. And my knees buckled. And he knew it, so he hung onto my hand. And in a few moments, when I gave him composure, he looked at me and said, are you okay? I said, yeah. He said, it's nice meeting you. Bye. And he gets in his Mercedes and drives away, and I'm looking at him. And it was shortly after that I lost everything I ever worked for. I lost houses, properties, cars. I lost investment money. I lost about $1 million. And it hurt. I went down hard. But God got my attention. Because in my heart and in my mind, I heard God say to me, I'll never forget it. He said, Jim, you can do it with me or you can do it without me. Choice is totally up to you. And I just broke down. I said, God, I tried life without you. It don't work. I need you in my life. Forgive me. Come into relationship with me.